All right, my friends, let the journey continue. Holy Christ. Okie dokie. Still same key, same standard, same everything. Let's move to the actual piano. What is this noise? It's not good. Let's see if everything else works as intended. Sounds like my computer's running out of buffer size. Why do these keys still, again, feel greasy? You know what? I think I really need to get some cleaning solution and a cloth. Okay. All right. Let's hope everything is fine now without this weird noise that always makes my hair stand up, thinking it is some buffer size issue. Because it shouldn't be. Not my good. I think I need to reinstall Discord on my phone. Don't want to navigate it like that. Alrighty. Okie dokie. Let's recap. Still around midnight. Still same key. So we are in D flat major to some extent. Last night I had some trouble going through the diminished six and B flat minor because my brain was fried. But let's maybe do that again. So, got B flat minor 6, C diminished. Then we got the same B flat minor 6, just in an inversion. Diminished. Minor 6. Diminished. I got some shit in my eye that's so annoying. Then we got this half diminished. And let's play the inversion game. What is this going to become if we invert it? Let's park the G an octave up. A minor 6 is the same, essentially, as a half diminished chord or -7 flat 5, whatever you want to call it, just different configuration. Same notes, different arrangement. Hey, Jelly. Yep, always back at it again. And we got a guest. My sister's sitting on the couch. Can't see her. So everybody needs to behave, especially me. I need to stop rubbing in my eye. Probably the stuff that is in my eye is my eye. Is that a new angle? We have this angle all the time, don't we? Oh no. Very often lately, I'm playing guitar more often, especially in the mornings, because I don't want to rattle the keys too much in the morning, because the impulse travels. And when I play guitar, I'm on the other side. But also, this is where I should spend most of my time anyway. The MIDI controller is fine, but it's only half-weight keys. And if you're really into playing piano, especially for technique, and also not to hurt yourself sooner or later, because I remember when I started playing piano, I started on a absolutely no weighted keyboard. And when I got this piano, I couldn't play for longer than 30 minutes because my hands were too weak to play against the weighted keys. Yeah. Now I can play like 4 hours nonstop, doesn't matter. But when you switch from no weight to weighted keys, it's kind of rough in the beginning. You know what? I'll be back in a second. I need to clean these keys. I don't know what it is, but there seems to be grease on it and I'm slipping off it. That's much better. Okie dokie. Alrighty, alrighty, alrighty. Maybe just one handful now. No paddle. We're playing what? Okay, maybe pedal for a second or so we can see the entirety of the scale. Let's play D flat major first. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Back to the 1. The PFP, FPS. What do I need to change? I don't know what PFP means. Do you mean FPS? The profile picture. Like, I'm always telling you guys, I'm not a content creator. I actually also detest the word. I'm just a streamer by coincidence. But I will take a consideration and try to think about maybe a profile picture. Maybe I can make a shot of this beautiful mug of mine. And yeah, it is generic because I believe there is... I don't even know what profile picture it is. Like, I told you I'm not a visual artist. Although I had a voicing, I just played. I don't understand that. Maybe my motor cortex is malfunctioning. Okay, let's calm down. Yes, I can definitely try to improve on graphics. I know. I'll try. We can't promise though. Well, thank you, Jelly. It's too kind. I could certainly need all the help that I could get, probably. But often for me, really, everything after I'm done practicing my piano is not even second thought. What's wrong with this pedal? Something is off. I don't know exactly what, but something. It might be my brain. Well, so we did already have 2 streams. It went on for quite some time. I can guarantee you, I will never hit it big. It's not what I'm pursuing. I just want to survive. hitting it big would kind of defeat the purpose. It will not exactly contribute to the peace of mind. Then I would have to show up somewhere. I hate that shit. No, seriously. I can talk so much while playing. I don't play so well right now, but I got some MIDI issues for sure too. A couple of notes get choked. I'm really not playing stellar right now, but I'm fighting technology. I can't wait until I go full analog. And I don't have to think about MIDI, all that stuff. Not that it's inherently bad, but it's a compromise that should be avoided if possible. I'm not making much sense, musically speaking, and also maybe in regards to anything else too. That should not hinder us to continue anyway. But maybe I should start to think a little bit more musically though. There's no need to butcher this beautiful piece. What are these lyrics? It begins to tell around midnight, midnight. I had it pretty well too. It begins to tell round midnight, midnight. I had it pretty well too. After sundown, supper time, I'm feeling. Goddamn! I need to listen to Ella again. I don't have these vocal runs well in my head, where I'm speaking about matching bar for bar the lyrics and the chords. I remember watching a video, I'm not quite sure exactly what pianist it was, but I loved the way he described it. He talked about playing with some other pianist, and it was not a nobody pianist, it was some pretty great pianist. And he talked about a rehearsal session with another musician who stopped mid rehearsal and he was like, "Hey, why did you stop?" And he said he forgot the lyrics. And they are not, neither of them were the vocalist. But he was like, I can't continue playing, and I forgot the lyrics. And it makes a lot of sense. If there's lyrics written to it, if you know the lyrics, it will just only help you play better because then you can carry the meaning from the lyrics into your playing, being a vocalist or not. Uh-oh, that's not right. Yeah, but you know what? I need to look at these lyrics, I suppose. But then I need to contort my neck. Maybe I should write them down so I don't forget them. But I'm pretty sure once I just start to write the first couple of words, it will come back. My memory is weird. It begins to tell round midnight. You know what? I think maybe in a little we are just going to listen to a couple of renditions. I'm guessing Ella first. Ugh, what's that? Is a note stuck or something? How is the spelling happening? A flat minor 6, 9, 11. I'm not seeing that 11. So weird. Okay, maybe I'm not going to look. I should just feel. I'd have maybe a little bit more respect for dynamics. I'm putting the sledgehammer on every note. I might as well use a brick wall limiter. And play less notes, or leave some room breathing in between those runs. Or everything just becomes an indistinguishable soup and a scale run, which is not what we're trying to do. That's okay for practicing, so we have more repetition and more feedback, but actually try to play as little as possible. Thank you, Jelly. That is courtesy of Keyscape, which I still claim is probably the best investment of my life. And the reverb that we use is just a basic Hall from Valhalla Vintage Verb. I can show you in a little bit. I mean, I think probably everybody. I mean, it's just a hall. A good way to try to play less is play restriction games. Generally, restriction exercise. I loved when I first came across, I'm kind of paraphrasing. Often we think we need more stuff to be creative, but it's actually in the contrary. Creativity is born in restriction. I love to say it's impossible to paint an infinite canvas, but once you are confined, you have a frame in which you can start to think about the problem. If you are only allowing yourself to paint rectangles with red or blue, then you can start to think about it. But if you can do everything, you have the choice of what's the word? You're paralyzed and overwhelmed by all the choices. So let's try to comp with some appropriate dynamics in the left, and we play melody only octaves right hand. And we can still do way too much just with octaves. What note is stuck? Some C flat. Okay, almost just octaves. Basically, it is. Oops. Block chords are not forbidden last time I checked. What's next? We could also play it differently. We don't have to use that voicing. We could also maybe make it root position. Then it's maybe also easier to see. Hold up, let me show you the first line from the real book again. Like, also take everything with a grain of salt, what I do, and also especially jazz lead sheets. It is just a mild suggestion. If you want to really get one particular sound, you will have to listen to the recording that you like so much. So let's look at this again. E flat minor, take E flat, the minor third, the fifth. And when you see a slash, it is just indicating what root to play below the chord before. So we add the note D to our E flat minor. Chord is going to tell us it is an E flat minor major 7 over D. It's quite a mouthful, Let's forget about that anyway. Let's invert this and put the bass on top. Still same chord, just different voicing. If we're thinking about the melody, it is a very chromatic line, or it basically cannot be more chromatic, if you ask me. Why are these notes getting choked? I know I played that note. If we replicate that with a chord, we get something that you probably have heard a million times. If I had a penny for every time I played this or heard something that was kind of played like that, we have one chord, E flat minor, we double the bass, and then we go down. We keep the chord. Dun, dun, dun. Right? And we are not getting away continuing block chords, especially not played like so. Down there, it gets too muddy. If we want to do that, we have to move up, or we need to play arpeggiated and with better dynamics, or what I still owe myself working on much, much more is spread voicings. If we start rolling the chord a little bit, we can also get away a little bit lower. And also, very good idea, often, especially, while pedal is beautiful and pedal is also essential, in practice, lay low of the pedal a lot. It is better for technique because pedal can greatly convolute our playing. Okay, I certainly still no authority on music theory. Like I'm kind of trying just to learn. To me, all this is just words, right? What I try to remember is what it sounds like so I can use it later. But if you want to, we can go and look at it maybe in a more friendly key signature. So we are in C major. If you ask me, scale degree is, to me, I don't know how much they can be understood about it. Instead of thinking C, D, E, F, G, and so on, if I'm not assigning letter names, but trying to think about it as how do they all relate to one another, respective to whatever I choose as the tonal center, if that makes sense. So say we choose C as our key. This is our home, our tonic, our one. This is our first scale degree. The only thing that I need to remember, or that would be good to remember, and we are also strictly speaking equal temperament Western 12-tone music, which is like a very super narrow, tiny bubble of music. Let's play the diatonic chords. And what I really always want to stress, all these words and names are very cumbersome, and they make actually music in the beginning harder to understand than it actually is. But let's do it super straight down. I tried to do it as simple as I could possibly think about it. Let's say instead of referring to any note by its arbitrary letter name, A, B, C, and yada yada, let's try to think about a system that can help us analyze how they relate to one another in regards to their intervals. So if I have one note and I play a different note, what is the interval, the tension between those two respectively? The first best thing, or probably in your first piano lesson or any music lesson, your teacher will show you C major. He will be going like 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not super exciting, but let's continue. Let's think about building chords. Say on every chord or on every scale degree, just meaning on every single note of your scale, and right now we're in C major or Ionian. That's the same thing, just another very unhandy word, unless you were, I don't know, if you had ancient Greek, then maybe that word is not too foreign, but I guess it's pretty foreign to most of us. Let's try to play a chord on every scale degree respectively. That means we're going to play the diatonic chords, which is an complicated way of saying I will create a chord by skipping every other note in the scale. We start on C, we're skipping D, going to E, we're skipping F, and then we're going to G. This is our first diatonic chord. Also, let's look at this chord. If C is our first scale degree, then we can start to try to analyze what it actually means. If I'm in any other key and I want to construct a major chord, what would that look like? All we have to do is replicate the pattern of intervals. So we just need to count half steps. So let's look at our first chord and the interval patterns. If we build a major triad, well, the name already implied this, the interval from C, our 1, to our third note in the scale is a major third, or if we count 1, 2, 3, 4. So major third is always 4 semitones. Then we skip F and we land on G. Let's lift the middle finger and look at the interval from C to F. Cordy is going to call that the perfect fifths. Let's count the semitones of that. This should be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we can further think about it. What makes up a major chord? We can say a major chord, this major triad, is the sum of what two intervals? It is the sum of a major third, and from our third to our fifth, we have a minor third. So you could refer or call a major chord or major triad specifically as being the sum of one major third plus a minor third. Let's change the order of these chords, of these notes, so we get familiar with inversions, and then we'll see it is pretty much still the same. We are not really changing the intervals. To some regard, yes, and then not really. Let's bring C up an octave. Cody is now calling this C over E. Same logic as before when we were playing E flat minor over D. The slash indicates which is the root note. So this is a C major triad. C, E, G, or what I encourage you how to think about it is 1, 3, 5. Because if you abstract that arbitrary letter name, you can take any kind of note, close your eyes, pick that, and start to replicate that interval pattern from there. Let's do one thing before I just babble, because I think these words are just really super fucking annoying and they don't actually help. Let's try to do this thing and let's analyze what kind of chord we are getting when we build it on every scale degree respectively. The only thing that we're doing, and you get this said a lot, building a chord is stacking thirds. And by thirds, I mean, for instance, this major third, but also we can think about minor. It could also be a minor third, you know? So let's play all the diatonic triads of C major. On the first scale degree, we get C major, 1, 3, 5. Let's go to the next scale degree and build that chord. What's that gonna be? Here we get D minor. But I encourage you to think one major, 2 minor, 3 minor, 4 major, 5 major, 6 minor, and 7 diminished. Also, let's maybe stay on C, because I think actually this is one of the most helpful things. What kind of chords are out there? Disregarding key or whatnot. It doesn't matter, because you can just shift the pattern to any key. So let's start with the vanilla thing. We got C major, or any major chord. We have our root, we go up 4 semitones to the major third, and then we play another minor third, or you can think root, major third, and fifths, always in the respect to the root note. So we got 1, major third, perfect fifths. Let's do one thing. Let's lower our middle note from a major third to a minor third. These are like the basic building blocks first. We have a major chord that we could also describe, like I said earlier, as 2 intervals. We have a major third and then we have a minor third. Let's look at C minor. That's the same thing in reverse. We have a minor third plus a major third. We can invert that all day, it stays the same. So these are our first two basic colors. What is the next kind of interval that we could be thinking of maybe? Let's maybe go back to our minor chord and let's lower the perfect fifths down 1/2 tone. And let's analyze how this is constructed. Here we have a symmetric relationship. We have a minor third from our root to our third, and from here we have another minor third. This is why I love diminished chords. Diminished chords are the great connectors. If you invert a diminished chord, it just becomes the next diminished chord called by its root note. Let's invert this and see how Cordy will spell it out. All right, we could invert it like so, yeah, sure, but I mean, it just goes infinitely. We could play a seventh chord. I hope I'm making some sense and not confusing you more. But if we have a minor chord or a major chord, if we invert that, it basically always stays the same. It sounds slightly different, maybe a little bit more open, maybe a little bit more closed, but essentially it's very much the same chord. Like the note material doesn't change by changing the order of these notes. Let's go back and let's stick with our triads for a little bit, and then we can go to seventh chord, which is playing a triad plus the seventh scale degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's where it got its name from. This is 1 major 7. This is 2 minor 7. This is 3 minor 7. 4 major 7. 5 dominant. We haven't looked at a dominant chord. Dominant chord, let's look at these interval patterns, but let's put that to C, maybe. This is C7 or C dominant. Whenever you see the scribbling of a big capital 7 and you're in the context of jazz, it is a dominant chord. Let's look at the intervals of a dominant chord. We have our root, we have a major third, and we have a minor seventh. Or what sum is that? We have a major third plus a tritone. Tritone is an interval that we didn't talk about. Tritone is a pretty funky interval. In that regard, the tritone is an interval that will, if you invert it, create itself again, because it is having the octave. That's also why it sounds kind of special. Way back in the day, they called it the devil's interval. Anyway, let's not go down music history lane. So let's look at our colors again. Our first basic color is this major triad. Root, major third, fifth. Then let's look at its parallel minor brother or sister, the sad version. There we have this interval pair reversed. minor third plus major third. We could double the bass and hear the octave. C major 7, God, sorry. C major. Let's lower our third to a minor third. And we go back to looking at our third chord color. That is the diminished one, the symmetrical one. Maybe let's add A to continue. Now we have a fully diminished chord. If we invert it, it's not like with any other chord because it's symmetrical. The spelling of the chord will be derived from its root note, because they're kind of like, without context, they're the big chameleons. A C major triad will always be C major triad. Because it's not symmetrical, these inversions don't really change anything about it. Okay, so recap fast. We got a major chord, we got a minor chord, we got a diminished chord. There's one more funky chord that we need to look at. Let's go back to our major triad, 1, 3, 5, and let's now augment, because that's what it's going to be called. Let's move G up by half a step, so we land on G sharp. That is an augmented chord, because the perfect fifth has been enlarged, augmented. Basically, these are all the colors that you can have. And everything else is more or less an addition thereof. As we're moving or trying to move through the context of jazz, most of the time we will not be playing diatonic triads. We won't be going if we are going to do that, we are probably adding a seventh to our triad. Like this, for instance. We have C major 7, or, like I want to encourage you, think in scale degrees so we can think about progressions and more easy, or making it more easy for us to transpose them by this number system. This is 1 major 7, 2 minor 7, 3 minor 7, 4 major 7, 5 dominant, 6 minor 7. And now this one looks odd. This is a half diminished chord. Why is it only half diminished? Well, I said earlier, hey Sid, how you doing? A diminished chord is a symmetrical chord. Let's leave out the sevenths of this. This is all symmetrical. All intervals are the same. We start on whatever root note we choose. In this case, it's B. Then we walk up a minor third. We stack another minor third. And then, if it was supposed to be symmetrical, what would we need to add? 1, 2, 3. If we land on A flat, it is B diminished 7. But we are playing A instead, because we are just playing all the white notes, no black notes, no chromatism, no borrowing, no nothing. And if we look at our last interval, that's a major third. And that makes the combination of a diminished triad plus a major triad that becomes or is a half diminished chord. Or if you care to talk too long, it's a -7 flat 5. Let's stay on C again and recap fast. So our basic colors, whatever key we are in, this is a major triad. We got the root, major third, perfect fifths. If we lower the major third in the middle, we get the parallel minor. If we lower now the fifths, we get it diminished. We're bringing back our major third. We're playing our fifths. And if we move our fifths up to A flat, we get an augmented chord. Now let's bring in a seventh chord. Let's look at all the seventh chord that we can make. Let's first use just all the white notes. We get C, which is our 1, E, the third, G, the fifths, B, the sevenths. It's not that you don't find major sevenths in jazz, you do find them, but chances are it won't be a major 7. Chances are it will be a -7, because the good blues brothers and sisters, they love their dominant chords, you know. And also, you don't have to play the fifths necessarily. The dominant 7 is still a dominant 7 if we omit the perfect fifths. So we could also very well play what is called shell voicings. We could play a tonic, a major third, and a -7. And Cordy will still spell this out as a dominant 7. Okay. This is C major. This is C major. And this is C major again. This is C minor. This is C minor. And this is still C minor. This is C diminished. This is C diminished. And this is still C diminished. Let's C augmented. So is, oh, I made a mistake, I guess. Or the spelling creates a different kind of thing. Okay, I wasn't aware apparently, but it seems if we invert it, the spelling of an augmented chord will change. What do you know? I didn't. So C augmented, if we invert it, what do we get? We get E augmented. Don't ask me why. Just accept your fate. I think I need coffee. Oh, I need to focus. This is C augmented. No time to be funny now. Let's get this over with. C augmented. So similar to diminished chords, augmented chords will get their spelling by the root of them. And I think I need to restart my machine. Some notes are getting choked. I'm very certain that I play them. Okay, these are our triads. Let's do this again with seventh chord. We got major 7, we got the root, major third, perfect fifths, major 7. Let's lower our third. Now we have a C minor with a major 7. Now let's lower the major 7 to a minor 7. That's just called C minor 7. I know it is pretty annoying to look at first, but it will get better very fast. And also, really, these names are just words. Every day I say don't get lost in the semantic circle jerk. C minor, major 7, C minor 7. Let's lower our fifths. C half diminished. Let's lower our minor 7 again. Basically, these are all the colors of chords that you can have. And if you look the first time at a jazz lead sheet and you see sharp 11, yada yada, whatnot, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Once we pass an octave, if I play this D, what is this chord gonna become? If this is 8, well, then this is going to be 9. It is just a stupid counting game. Okay, but let's go back to scale degrees and the chords. In the major scale, we are taking the major scale as our parent scale. And let's go again through all the diatonic chords. Diatonic, every other. We are skipping every other scale degree, and we are building generic thirds. What do I mean by generic? Well, they are not further specified. Of course, in a context of a major scale, the first generic third is a major. But if this was not C major, but its parallel minor counterpart, we'd have a minor third. But now, for a minute, we're gonna stay in C major because I think it's easiest to look at. So we got C major 7, or, as I wanna stress, 1 major 7. I don't know why these notes get choked. I think I need to restart my interface. And like, it's not forbidden to play stuff on with diatonic chords. I would say the majority of all the music out there is written absolutely straight vanilla diatonic chords. And it's beautiful music. Let's just use our other hand and we will just gonna play block chords. And we are skipping also a generic third, or diatonically. We're just going down super, super stubborn, like a mule. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Sounds a little bit trash. Maybe we should appreciate it. So we go. I hope I made some sense. If we don't want to have a dead dance, we could also maybe think about, how can we share notes among two hands? If we're going to play block chords, how about we are, let's say we're going to put the major third into our right hand. I don't know what's wrong with my pedal. I think I need to restart my computer. Okay, sorry. Let's do another thing, because that's actually probably a very fruitful exercise. Let's play 1 major 7. Now let's maybe invert this major 7 chord. That means we're shuffling the C up an octave. Always play the inversion game. Playing inversions makes life super easy because there's not that many chords. They are just a lot of spellings. Okay, cool. Where I want to land on is, we're taking any chord that we like, whatever it is, and we will bring it to an inversion where our root note is the second highest note. This is root position, C major 7 or 1 major 7. This is first inversion, 1 major 7. This is third inversion, 1 major 7. Now, we're gonna switch hand and copy this chord. And maybe you have an idea where I'm going. You probably heard of this. Drop 2 voicings. What does that mean? It means drop the second highest note of your chord. The second highest note of the chord is C, which is our core identity, speaking from tone. Let's go and play an octave where we have C in the bass, because like, how did we start? We started, we inverted one time, we inverted another time, then we drop the second highest note, and we bring that C back, but just below. I would argue that sounds oddly familiar. If I had a penny for every time I heard this, and I misplayed, but I'm quite sure you know what I mean. And if we're feeling creative, we can start to incorporate some chromatism. Maybe we're going to use a slide note, going down from B flat to B. Ta-da! But I gotta take a break and restart the machine. I'll be back. Peace. Happy practice. Was a good session though.